所以喺經濟穩準嘅裡面，
And so if it is allowable within your financial means,
特別見啦，節氣到曬嘅時陣，
especially during the time when your baby is between 1 to 3 years old,
老母第好唔能夠話夠作息，
it is best that the mother will be staying at home and not go out to work.
第好唔當住段時間去讀冊，
It is also best that at this moment the mom will not go out and study.
這3年嘅時間，
And during these first 3 years,
好陪伴你特別成長嘅囡仔，
you really have to accompany your children.
因為這3年過了以後，
Because after these 3 years,
永遠未個到嚟。
these 3 years will never come back.
你嘅子啦攤無夠，
Yes, you may not have enough money,
下擺重新攤到嚟。
but then in the future you can still take some time to
你
earn
學
more
問
money.
啊讀無夠，
If you feel that you are not educated enough,
下擺讀嘅嚟。
you can still continue your education in the
但這
future.
3年啦失去，
However, if you have lost these 3 years,
你特別用30年嘅時間嚟面對痛苦，
then you need to use 30 years to face the agony.
所以叫做幫助人。
So may the Lord God help
做
us.
老母嘅人，
As mothers,
唔係一個生產嘅河條，
not only is this a calling to give birth,
這是 calling of nurture，
it is a calling to nurture.
好教導你嘅囡仔，養育你嘅囡仔。
That you have to nurture your children and teach them right.
第三，
Third thing,
做老母人，這是投資影響未改變嘅河條。
the calling for a mom is to invest in the eternal and imperishable thing.
咱現在每日做保險，
We want to buy a lot of insurance. Is it
甚
not
至為
right?
囡仔買保險
We buy insurance for our children.
，education from the insurance 哦。
這個教育保險，這個年少保險。
年少保險哦，什麼旅遊保險、當保險、
All
體育
kinds
保
of
險，
insurances that you know you get for them.
這是嗰個理財嘅辦法，管理金錢嘅辦法。
This is a way of managing our resources or our wealth.
你拿最我這個做牧師只考講到沒有管子哦，我真係有管子哦。
Don't think that I, being a pastor, do not know how to manage the money. I know it very well.
10多年前，
More than 10 years ago,
我已經將教會當中嘅資本追美金及 peso。
I have divided the funds of the church into peso and also US dollars.
當時我哋接觸都未明白，都反對這項大
And
事。
so there are some deacons who do not understand this and they are disagreeing with
我
that.
這個就 reserve the value，
But this is intended to preserve the value of our funds.
我唔會加美金起，我唔會加 peso 落，
I'm not worried if this US dollars will appreciate or that peso will
因
depreciate
為我一波一波。
because I have put the funds into half.
伊嗱起，伊打就落，伊嗱落，伊打就起。
And so if one area appreciates, the other ones will depreciate. So it doesn't really matter to
這個
us.
就 reserve the value of your money。
So that's the way to preserve the value of our money.
我教你咯，
So this is what I'm
你
teaching
嗱
you
有
now.
紙將紙本將無相關嘅金紙。
So if you have the money today, then you have to divide your money into different currencies.
嗱管紙大家會曉啦啦，
In terms of managing funds or money, we are aware of this.
因
We
為
know
咧花
this
紙真重要，
because we give so much importance to money.
就係請你記住一項大字，
But then one thing you ought to
你
remember
嘅囡仔
that your children,
是永遠有價值嘅物件。
it will always be someone very valuable.
咱做父母嘅人，特別做老母嘅人，
We as parents, especially the mother,
你有一個叫做 eternal investment 喺你嘅囡仔身上
you
嘛？
have to do this 影響嘅投資。
真做什麼呢？
Like what?
留好你嘅囡仔留落美好嘅回憶。
You shall leave these good memories with your children.
咱都愛囡仔，
The more we love our children,
咱就嚟將真做物件生我囡仔。
the more that we want to buy a lot of gifts for them.
而係 iPhone，
They want iPhones.
好啲 iPhone，
You give them iPhones.
而係 computer，
They want computers.
好啲
You give
computer，
them computers.
而係 notebook，好啲
They
notebook。
want notebooks. You give them notebooks.
咱聽伊，咱盡力去聽伊。
Because we try to love them and we listen to whatever they want.
這是咱做父母第一偉大嘅所在，偉
And
大嘅
we
所
as
在。
parents, this is one of the greatest thing that we're doing for them.
家境無要緊，
Yes, even we do not have all of these things,
咱
it doesn't
盡
matter.
量幫咱囡仔有。
For as long as we want to help our kids to have all of these things.
2002年，我頭一擺咁牧師佬去美國
In the year 2000, that was my first time I went with my wife to the United States.
，90% 我所買到來嘅物件都是為我細囡仔。
90% of the gifts that I brought home were for my 3 children.
看到囡仔啊，這個合意愛，啊，這個艾莎，啊，這個 Sarah。
So when I see things, I will say, oh, this is good for this son of mine, for Isaac, for Sarah, for Press.
每嚟每去都是為囡仔去買物件。
So when I buy things, I'm actually buying just for my kids
你問咱聽伊，
because we love them.
但係請問，
But then let me ask you,
什麼物件好你嘅囡仔第受感動？
what would be the thing that would cause your children to be very touched?
什麼物件是好你囡仔感覺一個真正好嘅回憶？
What would leave good memories with your children?
你生好伊嘅 Game Boy、
Is it because of the Game Boy that you gave them?
PSP、
Or the PSP?
iPhone？
Or iPhones?
No，
會啊。
好囡仔所感動嘅物件，
Because what would touch your children
的確是咱及囡仔講嘅話，
會
及阮哋囡仔所做嘅代志。
would certainly be the words we spoke to them and the things that we did for them.
咱對囡仔講了什麼款嘅話，
So what kind of words are we telling our children
好囡仔深深受感動。
that would cause your children to be very touched?
咱哋囡仔做了什麼代志，
What are the things that we did for our
好
children
囡仔一生都唔會記得。
that in their entire life they will never forget whatever you did?
當我記得我老母嘅時陣，
When I remember my mom,
我總記得伊甲我講嘅話，
I will always remember what she told me.
其中一句話。
One of the things that she said.
當我甲伊講，媽媽，我要全時間奉獻做傳道嘅時
When
陣，
one time I told my mom that I have dedicated myself full time to become a pastor,
伊靜了幾分鐘，
she was silent for a few minutes,
忽然間甲我講一句話，
and then suddenly she said,
我永遠唔會記得一句話。
and these words I will never forget.
伊講囝，
Son,
你若做傳道，
if you become a pastor,
無一個比這個好媽媽更加歡喜，
there is nothing
Nothing.
more that will make me more happy.
甚至到我每一個 building 好我，一個 house 好我，一間厝好我，更加歡喜。
I'm even happier than compared to you buying me a big house or a flat.
這句好我真真受感動，
And these words really touched my heart
我繼續行呢條傳道嘅路。
and causing me to continue in this path of full-time
若有
ministry.
一日，
And if one day
你嘅家甲你講上一句話，
and your child told you the same thing,
媽，我要繼續傳道，
that mommy, I'm going to be a pastor,
你講什麼？
what are you going to tell
有
him?
時啊你，
You'll die of hunger.
真多時陣咱未明白，
Very often we do not understand
咱嘅話好囡仔感動嘅是什麼款嘅話？
what are the words that can touch your kids.
我老母為我創了一項代志，
And my mom did something for me
當我小學畢業嘅時陣
when I was
，in
graduating
grade school，
in grade school.
因為經濟真無好勢，
Because our financial resources weren't good at the
我
time.
就講我老母講我無個讀冊咯，
And so I told my mom I won't continue studying
我
anymore,
要去追工。
that I'm going out to work.
其實我這個人14歲就開始追工咯，
Actually, I have been starting working at the age of 14.
所以我講我唔免我全時間去追工。
And so I said I might as well work full time.
我老母講未追，
And my mom said, no,
你得個需要繼續讀冊。
you have to continue your studies.
然後咱無講話咯。
So I was quiet.
有一日，
And then one day,
伊拖我去一個所在，
she dragged me to a certain place.
原來伊家本身跟我去報名，
She actually enrolled on my behalf.
伊嘅學堂個真特別，
And that was actually a very special school.
叫做基督學校，就 Christ College。
It's Christ College.
我做啦，唔是信主嘅啦，
And in our own homes at that time, we weren't
呢
Christians.
陣我唔是信耶穌
I
嘅，
also wasn't a believer
但
then.
是我老母聽到有人講基督教學堂真好嘅，
But then my mom heard that Christian schools are good.
佢唔間講我走去報名，
And so she had me enrolled
學我繼續讀冊，
so that I may continue my
唔
studies.
係是繼續讀我係 high school，
Not only to continue my high
而
school,
且所在連不耶穌基督
but，also at this very moment that I came to know the Lord.
我永遠唔會記得這項代志，
And for sure, I will never forget
因為
this.
老母這個老母，
Because if it is not because of this mother,
見到我唔可能做牧師，
today I'm not going to be a pastor.
我去追工。
So I'm working somewhere else.
親愛老母啊，
And beloved mothers,
你留落什麼好嘅回憶，好你家家順順。
what good memories have you left with your children and descendants?
第二，
Second,
為你嘅囡仔留落一個正面美好嘅環境。
leave for your children a positive and good environment.
我嗱講 positive，仲有 negative。
Of course, when I said 家邊，但是有負邊嘅。
有人留學囡仔是 negative environment，
Some people would live with their children negative 負邊嘅環境
但。是咱做父母嘅人，做老母嘅人，
But then we as parents, as mothers,
你嘅責任是好你嘅囡仔有一個真正 positive 嘅環境裏面嚟長大。
your responsibility is to provide your children with a positive environment that they can grow up in.
有一篇真正出名嘅文章，
And this is a very popular article.
你係咪成日你講？
And this is how it's written.
你講寫書囡仔生活喺批評嘅裏面，即係囡仔會曉責備。
If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn.
即係囡仔啦，或者這個真最敵意嘅中間，這個囡仔學會教人還擊。
If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight.
但這個囡仔或者可能佢喺超越裏面，伊學習真堅笑。
If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy.
即係囡仔或者堅笑嘅裏面，伊感覺真正 guilty。
If a child lives with shame, he learns to be guilty.
即係囡仔或者自己真正寬容嘅環境嘅裏面，伊學習吞忍。
If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient.